A guy drowning in a 1 billion yuan debt. So broke he can't even scan a shared bicycle, a total bottom-tier ghost. Listed on the central blacklist. And yet at 3 in the morning, he gets spammed with 99 missed call notifications from a bank, demanding debt collection. What's even more absurd is that the person caught on the bank security cameras applying for the loan
looked completely identical to me.
even a court summons, was delivered directly to the door of my trashy 400 yuan rented room. My life is already down in the deepest gutter like this, and someone actually wants to steal my identity? What the hell is a guy targeting anyway? Is he after my staggering, suffocating mountain of debt? Or is he targeting my rock-bottom, dirt-poor existence? Your 30 million yuan loan is long overdue, which constitutes a severe breach of contract. If this isn't resolved immediately, your credit history will be permanently blacklisted. Look, big bro, I already owe a freaking billion yuan. The bank put me on a blacklist ages ago. How much blacker are you planning to pay my record? Stacking blacklists on top of blacklists? Can you just let me get a single night of sleep? Wait, what did you just say? My credit is so blacklisted it's practically glowing in the dark. I can't even rent a public power bank at this point. I genuinely cannot take out any loans, all right? Therefore, you are required to report to the bank's headquarters immediately for identity verification. Next time you make a scam call, do some proper background research first and stop calling me. 30 million yuan? That's it? Who the hell are you looking down on? Wait a second. Fraudulent identity loan. Who the hell used my name to take out a loan? I'm already this hopelessly broke, and someone actually stole my identity. Really? I never expected anyone to be even more shameless than me. At 7 o'clock the next morning, after finishing a cheap steam bun, I headed back home, only to find a fresh court summons slapped right on my front door. Jingshan Bank is suing regarding the overdue 30 million yuan loan due to failure to repay after the deadline. You are ordered to appear in court in 3 days. Signed by Jingshan Bank. Jingshan Bank? The bank I actually owe money to is Inha Bank. I owe them $1 billion, and they haven't even hunted me down yet. How on earth could they get something like this mixed up? Hello. Courtroom number 20 for the Jingshan Bank case. Speaking. I received the court summons. Regarding that case, you're Liu Bai Fan, correct? We require you to appear in court on time, sir. Your Honor, I've decided I will definitely show up in court. But I have one small request. Could you have the plaintiff call a taxi for me? Once I'm done with the trial, I'll pay him back. After all, I'm already so drowning in debt that I've gone completely thick-skinned. You may walk, or use public transit to reach the courtroom. Look, big bro, my credit is entirely blacklisted. I can't even get a bus pass issued. And as for physical cash, I literally only have 2.5 yuan left. How about I just trek over on foot then? It'll probably take a solid 4-hour walk. So you guys just wait up for me, okay? The voice on the other end hung up on me instantly, without hesitation. Staring down at the court summons, the more I looked at it, the more suspicious the whole thing felt. Jingshan Bank? I've never done a single piece of business with this bank before. Besides, since I'm already stranded on the ultimate blacklist like this, who in their right mind would steal my name to pull a loan? Did the risk control department at that bank completely lose their minds? Something extremely fishy is going on behind the scenes here. I need to take the initiative and call them to get to the bottom of this. Hello, Huaxia Credit Center speaking. How may I assist you today? Hello there. I received a notice claiming I took out a 30 million yuan loan. I want to double-check the details. My ID number is Mr. Liu. The system shows an unpaid loan under your name, valued at 30 million yuan. It is currently 90 days overdue. If not resolved immediately, you will face travel bans, property purchase bans, and strict restrictions on high-level consumption. Big bro, my absolute highest consumption today was this morning. Well, I bought 2 steam buns for 3 yuan, leaving me with a grand total of 2 yuan and 50 cents. What high-level consumption are you planning to restrict me from? Restricting me from buying spicy snacks. Oh, right. Could you check something else for me? If you stack my 1 billion yuan debt together with this 30 million, can I apply to become a VIP blacklist member? Like getting a Supreme Black Card or something along those lines. Just to let me reach peak rock bottom? Is there a rewards point system for being this blacklisted? How much debt do I need to rack up to unlock a free gift? You actually do have one. In our system records, the memo on your account reads, Ultimate Beyond Hell Blacklist Entity. Completely unsalvageable. I've been working here for 3 whole years, and this is literally the first time I've ever laid eyes on a note like this. So, should I feel proud of that or something? I strongly advise you to hold back your grief. Suddenly, I began to feel like this ultimate blacklist identity of mine was actually pretty badass, wasn't it? At 2 in the afternoon, just as I laid down to take a quick power nap, my front door was violently kicked wide open. Who the hell is that? Where are your manners? There's no need to lock my door anyway. It's not like I have any valuable belongings inside worth stealing. Who on earth are you guys? Jingshan Bank, Debt Recovery Department Manager, Zhou. Hi, Zhou Hai, known on the streets as the Iron Face King of Hell. Word on the street is his bad debt recovery rate reaches a staggering 80. His methods aren't exactly clean, but they get results. Listen up, kid. If you don't fork over that 30 million yuan, don't even dream of stepping a single foot out this door. Look here, big bro. Does your bank not run basic background checks on your clients? Do you guys even know who the hell I am? Liu Bai Fan, 28 years old. 3 years ago, your startup tanked, leaving you with a 1 billion yuan debt and a completely charred credit score. So you figured, tacking on another 30 million yuan wouldn't make a damn difference, right? Damn, you guys really did your homework, huh? In that case, do you happen to know who the creditors behind my 1 billion yuan debt actually are? Adding up all the various odds and ends, it spans across more than 10 major banks. So for your bank's 30 million yuan, do you even think you qualify to cut in line? Besides, your bank has to wait its turn in the queue. Wait until I finish paying off that 1 billion in front of you before your turn even comes up. With my current repayment speed of roughly 100 yuan per year, you guys will probably have to wait about 10 million in 5 years. Liu Bai Fan, you've got some serious nerve. Let's move out. Hold on a sec. Fix my door before you step out. This is a rented apartment, and I haven't gotten my security deposit back yet to actually wring money out of my pockets. Kid, you're the first person to ever pull that off. Impossible, Liu Bai Fan. Sweet, this month's rent money is officially secured. Take care now. I won't bother seeing you out. Still, for Jingshan Bank to be this frantically desperate to collect these 30 million yuan, there is definitely something fishy going on here. A blacklisted entity drowning in a billion yuan debt is usually someone banks wouldn't even bother acknowledging, simply because they know it's a completely lost cause. Yet, not only did they track me down on their own, they even brought a whole squad of goons with them. There is definitely a dark secret here. I booted up my laptop, logged into an encrypted messaging app, and pinged the hacker Little Fatty. You there? Need you to run a quick check on something. Brother Fan, you're actually reaching out to me first. I genuinely thought your creditors had chopped you to pieces. By the way, I used to hack into the Pentagon back in the day, you know? And you're just using me to dig up basic documents? Still alive. Some imposter used my name to pull a 30 million yuan loan. Track down the IP address used for that account's transactions. Only 30 million? That's literally it. How does a guy owing a whole billion yuan care about a petty number like that? Of course I care, because this time I was framed. It's not like I went out and scammed someone myself. The nature of the situation is completely different. Little Fatty replied with a string of 666 praise emojis. In less than 10 minutes, Little Fatty sent over an address along with a batch of screenshots. Brother Fan, I tracked it. The transaction IP for that account originates from a luxury high-rise complex, Xinjiang Haoyuan, Tower 12, Unit 2801. On top of that, there's something super intriguing in the transaction history. The identity document image uploaded was a high-res scan of your actual ID. Brother Fan, I suspect someone got plastic surgery to look just like you, and then use your identity to steal that loan. My life is already down in the deepest gutter imaginable. Yet someone actually got plastic surgery to look like me just to take out a loan. What kind of self-sacrificing lunatic is this? Brother Fan, as a blacklisted ghost, your compassion is truly off the charts. The dude is literally laughing all the way to the bank at your expense. This is what I call fighting dark with dark. I'm gonna make him realize what the true bottom of rock bottom actually feels like. Hey, fake imposter, you ready for this? Your daddy is coming for you. Grasping the 200 yuan I just squeezed out of Zhou Hai, I headed straight to the address provided by Little Fatty and set up a stakeout. Crouching patiently near the flower bed, directly across from Xinjiang Haoyuan, As night fell, a sleek black Mercedes C-Class pulled up to the entrance. The car door swung open, and stepping out was a guy. Holy crap, that dude's face looked completely identical to mine. No, wait, that's not quite right. He's actually slightly handsomer than me. And even his stride is way more arrogant than mine. My walk screams guy carrying a 1 billion yuan debt, while his walk screams guy holding a 1 billion yuan savings deposit. Have I been hunted down by debt collectors so much that I'm seeing hallucinations? Or is it because my debt is so astronomical that the gods felt pity for me and dispatched a body double to suffer in my place? He casually swiped his key card and strutted into the complex. I unconsciously trailed behind him. Just as I reached the gate, the security guard reached out to stop me. Who are you looking for? I live here. Didn't you literally just walk inside a second ago? That was my twin brother. The guard froze in utter confusion for a moment, and while he was distracted, I slipped right past him into the residential compound, tailing that guy to keep up the surveillance. Later that night, the dude was making a phone call in the stairwell. His fragmented voice echoed out softly, reporting in. I've successfully stolen that Lou by Fan Guy's credit profile. He's an ultimate blacklisted entity owing a full billion yuan. So tacking on another 30 million won't raise a single eyebrow. That's right. The inside contact at Jingshan Bank has taken care of everything. The money laundering channel through the Gio family is set. Rest assured, it's completely flawless. In a smooth motion, he raised his hand to stroke his face as if double-checking something. Checking to see who he was, or checking who the hell he had finally transformed into. I raised my phone to record the whole exchange, then strolled over and knocked on the doorframe. Hey bro, nice plastic surgery job. How much did that face cost you? Is there a group discount deal on that? Who the hell are you? You stole my identity to take out a loan, and you don't even know who I am. Big bro, your homework preparation is severely lacking. What do you want? What do I want? You got surgery to look just like me. Use my name to snatch a 30 million yuan loan. And now you're asking what I want. Big bro, did you seriously think nobody gives a damn about an ultimate blacklisted ghost? Your credit score was already pitch black to begin with. Adding another 30 million on top isn't something the bank would ever cash. This literally doesn't affect your life in any way. You're dead wrong. The bank already sniffed it out. Agents from Jingshan Bank literally kicked my front door off its hinges today. As for that 30 million, the court has already dispatched a summons. And you claim it doesn't affect me? Right now, I don't even dare to buy a pack of instant noodles out of sheer terror that the judge will convict me of luxury spending. Besides, that massive thug who kicked my door down is named Zhou Hai, debt recovery manager at Jingshan Bank. He's currently hunting me down for those 30 million yuan. Take a wild guess. If he tracks you down, how do you think he's going to treat you? When he kicked my door open, he didn't even bother taking off his shoes. Do you really think I could pull off a scheme like this all on my own? The power backing me is Jioge. The man exclusively handles multi-hundred million yuan operations. Multi-hundreds of millions? Then since I'm sitting on a 1 billion yuan debt, can he pay it off for me? Are you mentally ill? My mind is perfectly fine. I'm drowning under a staggering 1 billion yuan debt. My credit is utterly pitch black. Someone got plastic surgery to impersonate me, and now the bank is actively hunting me down. Living a life like this, a normal person would have leaped off a building ages ago. Yet here I am, casually roasting you to your face. This is what you call peak mental fortitude. Go back and tell Jioge that I'm not looking to pick a fight with him. But you guys better stop pulling your dirty tricks using my name. A blacklisted ghost like me is already pitch black as it is. I don't need you guys slapping any more dark filters on my record. Walking out of Xinjiang Haiyuan, I didn't return to my cheap rental room, but headed straight to an internet cafe to meet Little Fatty. Did you meet that guy, Brother Fan? Met him. He claimed the mastermind behind him is Jioge. Yeah. Brother Fan. The guy you're talking about couldn't possibly be Zhao Gio, right? You know him? Anyone hustling in the underworld knows Zhao Gio. On the surface, he runs commercial trade, but in reality, he's a top don in the underground shadow banking syndicate, specializing in money laundering, credit fraud, and identity theft loans. Word is the volume of cash passing through his hands is at least this much. 5 billion yuan. I owe 1 billion, while 5 billion flows through his hands. Suddenly, I feel like standing before him. I'm practically just an unpaid intern. Brother, are you actually planning to track down Zhao Jio? What on earth are you going to him for? An ultimate blacklisted guy like you. Going to drink tea with him? So what's your game plan? He messed with my credit record. So I'm going after his people. Bro, are you actually being serious right now? I owe 1 billion yuan. What else in my life could possibly be a joke? The next day, before I even had a chance to track down Zhao Jio, Zhou Hai dragged me straight to Jingshan Bank. How much information have you actually managed to dig up? Answer one question of mine first. Does your bank have an insider conspiring with Gao Tian? Am I right? Little Fatty helped me uncover that. Gao Tian didn't have a single personal contact at Jingshan Bank. And yet the approval process for that 30 million yuan loan breezed through with absurd speed. From a moment the file was submitted to the cash disbursement, it took a grand total of barely 2 days. This completely proved someone on the inside gave him the green light. You're right. Someone inside our bank's hierarchy has indeed been leaking customer credit data, but I have no idea who it actually is. Then what did you drag me here for? I need you to help me expose that insider mole. Me helping you? What useful help could a blacklisted ghost like me possibly offer? Well, I suppose I could help out. But your bank has to unblock my shared bicycle app first. What? I'm under strict spending restrictions. I can't even scan a code to rent a public bike. You expect me to do your dirty work. You're going to make me trek everywhere on foot. Here is a bank-issued unlimited public transit card. Done deal. Returning to my rental room, I took the whiteboard I squeezed out of Zhou Hai and hung it on the wall. Little Fatty video called me, staring blankly. Brother, what the heck are you drawing over there? This is Gao Tian, this is Zhao Jio, and this is the bank insider mole. 3 points, 1 straight line. Your straight arrows are completely crooked. Those 3 points aren't even on the same line at all. Why do you care what I draw? As long as the logic makes sense, that's all that matters. Brother, are you really going to go head-to-head with him? A guy who owes 1 billion yuan has nothing left to lose anyway. Let's see who breaks first. With investigative skills like yours, if you don't become a police officer, it would be a total waste. Become a cop. An ultimate blacklisted entity like me can't even qualify for auxiliary patrol duty. Last time I saw a job posting for a security guard, and even they required a full credit check. Do you have any idea how soul-crushing that felt? Even security guard positions won't touch me. So how exactly do you plan to investigate? We start with Gao Tian. Help me hack into Gao Tian's phone to track everywhere he goes on a daily basis. Brother, that is straight up illegal. What about back when you were hacking into other people's computers? How come you didn't cry about it being illegal back then? How is that even remotely the same? Back then, it was for the sake of justice. Well, this time it's for justice too. Justice owes me a cool 1 billion yuan. So collecting a little interest from it isn't asking too much, right? Little Fatty was thoroughly convinced by my flawless logic. 10 minutes later, he sent over a clean batch of location data. Every single Wednesday evening, Gao Tian visits a place called Yalan Club. Brother, are you really planning to go there? Of course I am. Why wouldn't I? Tomorrow, I'm going to personally pay my respects to this Jiao Ge and see what he's made of. That evening, I dug up a suit, buried at the very bottom of my trunk to wear to Yalan Club. Outside the entrance were parked all kinds of high-end luxury supercars. Stepping into the main lobby, a waiter rushed over to escort me to a private table. Flipping open the very first page of the drink menu, I nearly passed out on the spot. Single glass of whiskey, 38,000 yuan. How on earth can a drink be that insanely expensive? Sir, what would you like to order? Give me this one. Sir, that happens to be the absolute cheapest option on our menu. It's 380 yuan a glass. So what if it's the cheapest? I owe 1 billion yuan. Whatever drink I swallow is pure profit. 380 yuan versus 3,800 yuan makes zero difference to a guy like me. It's not like I can afford to pay for either anyway. Put on my tab. The waiter probably assumed my payment card was some elite VIP card or something, so he gave a quick glance and tucked it away. Once the drink was served, I took a gentle sip and casually asked the waiter, as if it were no big deal, "Does Jiao Ge happen to drop by your place often?" Sir, we are not permitted to disclose any information regarding our distinguished guests. I'm definitely not some undercover rat. I just want to see if it's possible to meet him in person. I owe him money, so I need to meet him face to face to clear my debt. I will absolutely never leak to you that. Jioge is currently hanging out in VIP room VIP-8 at the very end of the hall. Got it, thanks. I crept along the corridor, searching for VIP room VIP-8, taking a deep, heavy breath. I shoved the door wide open and stepped right inside. Without breaking a sweat, I raised my phone and snapped a quick photo, capturing all 7 or 8 people in the room inside a single frame. Who here is Zhao Jio? I owe 1 billion yuan, and I came to find you to ask if you'd kindly pay off my debt for me. Kid, you've got some massive nerve talking like that. You claim you owe a full 1 billion yuan? How on earth did you rack up a debt like that? Failed startup attempt. My business partner embezzled the funds and bolted. Suppliers swarmed for payments. And banks foreclosed on all my assets. A textbook standard bankruptcy story. Do you need me to write you a full summary report? You really are absurdly laid back, aren't you? All of you, get the hell out. Do you even know who I am? Zhao Jio, known on the streets as Jioge, overlord of underground shadow credit, handling at least 5 billion in cash flow. By the way, just to let you know, your little lackey Gao Tian used my stolen identity to pull a 30 million yuan loan from Jingshan Bank. Were you aware of this? I was. This old man really is a straightforward gangster. If he did it, he owns it. If he owns it, he doesn't spin cheap excuses. 1,000 times better than that runaway ex-partner of mine. So what do you want? Gao Tian asked me that exact same question too, and my answer remains completely unchanged. Stop using my name to pull these shady schemes. A blacklisted ghost like me is already living in pure misery. I don't need you adding extra fuel to the fire. What if I say no? Then why don't you help me test out if this 1 billion yuan debt can be financially leveraged to double right up into 2 billion? Either way, I'm already past the point of ever paying it back. A little more or a little less makes absolutely zero difference to me. This fearless, reckless, give no damn attitude of yours looks suspiciously like me when I was young. Regarding Gao Tian, using your identity to borrow money, I can personally take care of it for you. But you have to promise me one condition. What condition? Shut your mouth tight. That's literally it? That's literally it. Don't contact the cops. Don't run around running your mouth. And just act as if none of this ever took place. As for that 1 billion yuan debt hanging over you, I can even brainstorm a way to help you clear it. What way? My line of business requires a few individuals to act as guarantors. Since you're already an ultimate blacklisted entity anyway, taking on a few more debts won't hurt you in the slightest. Every single month, I'll wire cash over to you, and you'll help me cycle the funds through. This old bastard wants to use my stolen identity to launder his dirty cash. Sure, my credit rating is already pitch black, so adding a few criminal record convictions doesn't seem all that different on paper, except owing money and committing actual crimes are two completely different beasts entirely. Out of the question. You just claimed that taking on a few extra debts wouldn't hurt. But you've gotten one huge thing completely twisted. Owing money is a civil matter, but committing crimes is a criminal offense. My record may be pitch black, but I'm not an absolute idiot. You think an ultimate blacklisted loser. Like you can actually do anything to touch me? Maybe I can't, but I sure as hell can drag you straight down into the black with me, from the moment you admitted that Gao Tian used my identity to pull that loan and offer to handle it for me, all the way to proposing I take on your debts. I've got every single word recorded on tape. If you got the balls to pull this, why shouldn't I? Jioge, mark my words carefully. A blacklisted ghost like me has absolutely nothing left to lose. No money, no house, no car, and not a shred of credit reputation. And if I'm not even afraid of drowning under a 1 billion yuan debt, what on earth makes you think I'd be scared of a single thing in this world? You don't mess with me, I don't mess with you. But the instant you lay a finger on me, I'm handing this voice recording directly over to the police. After all, in their eyes, you're the actual massive whale they're hunting. Kid, you better think this through very, very carefully. When Zhao Jio speaks, my word is absolute law. Then let's test it out right now. And see who's got the bigger guts. Impressive, kid. You've got real backbone. Men, escort him back. I fully expected Jioge to unleash some brutal retaliation on me. Yet surprisingly, absolutely nothing went down. On the 5th day, Jioge dispatched his personal goons to pick me up. Once again at the Yelan Club. Sit down. The reason I called you over this time is because I want to form a partnership with you. Partnership doing what? Help me pull off a specific job. Once it's done, I'll help you wipe out half of that 1 billion yuan debt hanging over you. That sounds absurdly tempting. I've been drowning in debt for 3 whole years and couldn't even pay off 5 million. And now, someone is offering to help me pay off a staggering 500 million. What job? I have a fierce rival named Chen Shijia, who operates in the financial sector. He has a client list belonging to me in his hands. You're going to help me retrieve that list. Because you're an ultimate blacklisted entity. Absolutely no one will pay any attention to you. What's more, you're sharp. Way smarter than my useless, brainless thugs. Zhou, let me ask you one question. If I actually help you secure that list, will you truly help me pay off 500 million? When I, Zhao Jio, speak, my word is absolute gold, even if I can't handle the full amount myself. There are people above me who can settle it for you. Then why don't you help me unblock my public shared bicycle app first? What? I'm under high-level spending restrictions. I can't even scan a code to ride a public bike. You expect me to pull off a job for you. You surely can't make me trek everywhere on foot, right? Fine. Minor issue. That very night, stepping out from the Elon Club, I rode my unblocked public bicycle all the way back home. My mind completely dominated by Gio's bold phrase. When I speak, my word is absolute law. Only people with a guilty conscience feel the desperate need to constantly emphasize over and over again that they always keep their promises. I pulled over to the side of the street, pulled out my phone, and whipped up a text to little fatty. Dig deep into Zhao Jio for me. And not just the surface-level stuff. I need to know every single contact he reaches out to, where his money originates, and where it ultimately flows. Brother fan, are you seriously trying to expose Gioga down to his underwear? He messed with my credit profile first, stripping him bare down to his shorts. Is only fair game. Little fatty occupied the most hidden corner deep inside the internet cafe, with 3 separate computer monitors running high-speed code simultaneously right before his eyes. The moment I pushed the door open and stepped inside, he was engaged in a fierce, brutal battle against a target firewall. Brother, you're finally here. I managed to dig up some crazy dirt. You definitely won't see this coming, brother fan. Lay it on me. Yu Ye is nominally the legal representative for 3 separate commercial trading companies, but all 3 of them are total shell corporations. The actual capital flow gets funneled through a completely different pipeline. Look right here, on the 15th of every month. The bank accounts for all 3 of these companies wire massive funds out to an offshore account. The amount fluctuates anywhere from 30 million to a mind-blowing 100 million yuan. And the ultimate beneficial owner receiving those offshore funds is a person named Li Xiaoming, or rather, Li Xiaoan. Who is that? No idea. I ran a search on that name, and I couldn't pull up a single shred of personal info. No social media accounts, no travel or immigration records, not even a registered phone number. This individual exists as if they're completely invisible, totally untraceable. But I did stumble upon another insane lead. Where'd you dig up? Where that offshore cash ultimately ended up flowing. Where? Try taking a wild guess. Stop keeping me in suspense. That money ultimately poured straight into the bank account of a student at the Macau Institute, used exclusively to cover tuition and living expenses. $80,000 a year for tuition, plus $5,000 a month for living expenses. Brother, try guessing what this student's name is. What is it? Chen Shubai, 28 years old, currently pursuing a PhD in financial engineering. Stellar academic performance, highly favored by his professors. On top of that, under his family background profile, it lists mother, Li Xiaoan, retired schoolteacher. Father, deceased, a retired teacher's kid, studying for a PhD at Macau, burning through hundreds of thousands of dollars every single year. This profile is even more fake than my own tragic credit report. What's more, I couldn't trace Gio's direct, underground point of contact. Then keep digging. Investigate Li Xiaoan's entire social network. Find out where she lives, and track every single person she interacts with. Brother, you're straight up squeezing the life out of me. I haven't slept in 3 days. Besides, this 50 yuan bill you gave me doesn't even cover a full day's internet cafe fees. Bro, here's your 50 bucks. That's for the penalty fine. It's not even enough for a single day. You even promised you buy me a whole week's worth of spicy snacks, remember? So what do you actually want? Once this old gig is wrapped up, you're taking me out to a proper feast. And I don't mean KFC. I mean a fancy restaurant that costs at least 500 yuan per person. I'm literally carrying a 1 billion yuan debt. Forcing me to treat you to a 500 yuan meal is basically asking for my life. Fine, 300. Yuan then. Done deal. I made my way back home, pushed the door open, and realized my entire room had been completely ransacked. The computer case was ripped wide open, and the hard drive was missing. Again with this? Do these idiots actually believe? My trashy, rundown rental room is hiding some secret treasure. Trove. Striding over to the desk, I noticed the computer monitor was still glowing brightly. Looking closely at the screen, I saw an open interface for a bank wire transfer, revealing that at precisely 3 p.m. today, a massive sum of 50 million yuan from an offshore account was wired straight into my personal bank card and subsequently routed out to over 20 different accounts. Big bros. This trashy, ancient PC of mine stutters just try to run Minesweeper using a rig like this to launder dirty money. Aren't you terrified the system will freeze up mid-transfer? Hello. Welcome. How may I assist you today? Hello. My name is Fan BG, ID card ending in. I'd like to inquire real quick. Did my account receive an incoming transfer of 50 million yuan today? Sir, according to our records today, there was indeed an incoming transaction of 50 million yuan, followed immediately by an outgoing transaction of 50 million. Then let me ask you, do I need to pay taxes on this money? Besides, I didn't actually earn this 50 million myself. Someone else used my account to launder dirty money. Do I need to pay taxes on this middle-tier transaction? Personal income tax, surtaxes, or any other type of levy? Sir, I am the risk management department manager for the bank. We have formally logged the situation you've just described. May I ask if you've reported this to the police yet? Not yet. I just wanted to clear up the tax situation first. After all, I'm an ultimate blacklisted entity owing 1 billion yuan. Having a 50 million yuan cash flow suddenly cycle through my name. I was terrified the tax bureau would come knocking on my door. Sir, I strongly advise you to report this to the police immediately, because money laundering through illegal, unlawful means does not require paying income taxes at all. Well, that's a relief. Thanks a lot. Gao Tian using my computer to launder dirty cash proves two crystal clear things. First, Jiu Ge has officially decided to make a move against me. Second, those scumbags aren't the least bit afraid of me going to the police. If I actually went to report this to the cops, their very first knee-jerk reaction would likely be, is this desperate deadbeat just trying to dodge his debt obligations? Even so, I went straight ahead and reported it to the police anyway. Right after filing the report, I swung by Zhou Hai's office carrying 2 cups of fresh soy milk. Zhou Hai stared at me, dumbfounded. You went through all the trouble of coming here just to hand me this? Nope. I came here to officially reveal to you who the corrupt insider mole in your bank actually is. You claim there's an insider mole? Where's your solid proof? When Gao Tian used my computer to cycle that dirty money through, he accidentally left behind a distinct IP address, pointing straight back into your bank's internal network. And the logged-in user account belongs to Ma Dong. Ma Dong has been loyal to me for 5 whole years. When his wife gave birth to their second child, I personally approved his paternity leave. When his little son fell ill, I advanced him the hospital fees out of my own pocket. So what if it's 5 years? I've been drowning in debt for 3 whole years, and I still got hit with full-blown identity theft. To me, this is nothing more than a minor side scene. BG Fan, you really are an extremely bizarre human being. You're carrying a 1 billion yuan debt. Your credit rating is pitch black. Your identity got hijacked for fraudulent loans. You were framed in a money laundering trap, and you're being actively hunted by ruthless mobsters. Any normal person would have suffered a total mental breakdown a long time ago, yet here you are casually sipping soy milk like nothing happened. Manager Zhou, do you know why I haven't completely collapsed? It's precisely because I'm carrying a staggering 1 billion yuan debt. When you're suffocating under an astronomical sum like that, you suddenly realize that every single other problem in this world is nothing more than a minor inconvenience. Identity theft for illegal loans? Minor inconvenience. Framed in a money laundering trap? Minor inconvenience. Death threats from mobsters? Purely minor. Inconveniences. That's because I've already survived the absolute ultimate crisis of a lifetime. Owing 1 billion yuan that I can never possibly pay back. So, what do you plan to do next? Ma Dong is your personal subordinate. Are you going to handle him yourself, or should I step in and deal with him? I'll handle him myself, but you have to lend me a hand. Manager Zhou, are you asking for my help? You're a top-level executive manager at a major bank. Yet you're teaming up with an ultimate blacklisted ghost like me. If word of this leaks out, your entire career is totally finished. Though don't worry, once you're completely ruined, we can become fellow blacklisted deadbeats together. They shook hands. If you wrote this into a movie script, not a single soul would believe it. Yet this was my insane, twisted reality. Getting right back to business. Manager Zhou, let's talk serious strategy. How do you plan to execute this? This is a forged credit report I had the little fatty whip up. According to this document, under my name there's still a hidden, undisclosed debt of 50 million yuan. It's framed as an internal loan from an offshore foreign bank that hasn't been synced onto the official central credit database yet. If Ma Dong gets his hands on this intel, he'll, without a doubt, report it straight to Jiu Ge, and Jiu Ge will immediately order Gao Tian to hijack my identity once again to pull that cash. How can you be so certain Ma Dong will buy it? Because embedded inside this report is one crucial detail. The chief risk assessment manager of that foreign bank is named Chen Shubai, the PhD in financial engineering from Macau, who is almost certainly Jiu Ge's primary shadow contact. The instant Ma Dong sees Chen Shubai's name on that document, he'll assume it's high-level insider intelligence and report it right up to Jiu Ge. Jiu Ge will smell a massive loophole ready to be exploited, and he'll unleash Gao Tian to make his move once more. BG Fan, what line of work were you in before all this? Fintech. No wonder. You finance guys have absolute pitch black hearts. I'm carrying a 1 billion yuan debt. If my heart wasn't pitch black, how on earth could I survive? All right, the plan is officially locked in. However, Ma Dong is an exceptionally cautious individual, working beside me for 5 full years without ever slipping up. Proves he possesses top-tier counter-investigation instincts, which means we only get one single solitary shot at this. If we startle the snake in the grass, he'll instantly pull his head back and tuck his tail between his legs. Therefore, my plan is for you to come straight to the bank and make a massive scene. Making a scene? Now, that is right up my alley. That very afternoon, wearing a faded, worn-out button-down shirt, I marched directly into the grand main lobby of Jingshan Bank. Striding straight up to the front teller counter, I violently slammed a court summons right onto the marble countertop. I demand to see your highest-ranking executive right now. Some scum used my name to fraudulently pull a 30 million yuan loan, and now a court summons has been served straight to my front door. What kind of shady business are you people running here, huh? Inside the main hall, over a dozen customers instantly turned in unison to stare right at me. The bank teller turned pale as a sheet from pure panic, desperately dialing the internal phone line. In less than 3 short minutes, the elevator doors slid wide open, and Ma Dong stepped right out from inside. Sir, whatever the problem is, you can discuss it directly with me. I'm the vice manager here. Your bank has someone using my identity to fraudulently pull a 30 million yuan loan. I demand an immediate, clear explanation. Mr. BG Fan, please follow me into my private office so we can talk this through. It's not appropriate to discuss this out in the open. Mr. Fan, you claim that someone hijacked your identity to secure a loan. Do you actually possess any solid proof to back that up? I yanked a thick stack of documents out of my bag, scattering them dramatically across the entire desk, intentionally flipping the credit report right to the final page, to blatantly expose the name, Chen Shubai. This right here is my full credit profile. Every single debt under my name is listed on this document, and that 30 million yuan line from your bank isn't anywhere on this record. This proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that I wasn't the one who filed for that loan. Mr. Fan, we'll need to officially verify the authenticity of this report first. Could you head home and await our updates? Wait around. I don't have the luxury of waiting around. The court trial is scheduled to begin in 3 days. If you don't give me a completely satisfactory resolution right now, I'm going straight to the investigative journalists. I'm carrying a 1 billion yuan debt, and I'm not even scared. Do you seriously think I'm afraid of dragging your bank into a high-profile lawsuit? I slammed my hands on the desk and stood up in a raging fury, shoving the papers messily back into my bag, while accidentally leaving the forged credit report behind. Right on the chair, the moment I exited the building, Zhou Hai, watching everything from the surveillance control room, immediately deployed 2 tailing officers to monitor Ma Dong's workstation from 3 completely different angles. At precisely 4 p.m., an urgent voice message from Little Fatty pinged my phone. Brother Fan, Gao Tian just took the bait. He literally just submitted a brand new loan application on the bank's internal app. The requested amount is a massive 50 million yuan. Once again, using your stolen identity. What about Ma Zong? Ma Dong's admin account literally just fast-tracked and approved that loan application. As we speak, brother, a standard approval process usually takes at least 2 full business days. You took a mere 41 seconds to push it through. I already know. I'm going to ring Zhou Hai right now. That afternoon, when I rushed hurriedly right back into the bank, Gao Tian was sitting smugly right in front of the loan counter, eagerly waiting to sign the paperwork. The split second his eyes landed on me, his face turned as pale as a fresh sheet of paper. I marched straight up to the counter and slammed my phone forcefully down onto the desk. The clear surveillance camera recording had fully captured the entire conversation, where Ma Dong made that phone call inside his office, his exact words echoing out loud. That name, Chen Shubai, has already surfaced on BG Fan's credit report. We can make our move on that 50 million yuan line right now. Ma Dong, you've been right beside me for 5 full years. I never imagined you would betray me like this for pure greed. Zhou Hai, do you genuinely believe I pulled this off just for money? BG Fan, do you still remember 3 years ago, when your fintech company collapsed into absolute bankruptcy? How many innocent families were completely ruined because of you? My older brother, Ma Chang, had poured his entire life savings into your damn company. 1.2 million yuan vanished in a thin air. He's 53 years old this year, and he's still forced to haul his bricks at a grueling construction site. My hatred isn't just because you owe money. My hatred is that you're buried under astronomical debts, yet you still walk around living so proudly and unbothered. Ma Dong, stop spewing nonsense. You boys drag Ma Dong away right now. This situation wasn't entirely his fault, nor was it mine. If I owe money, I must pay it back. Whether it's a staggering 1 billion or 1.2 million yuan, it is an absolute obligation that belongs to me. Ma Dong wasn't an inherently evil guy. He was simply a desperate brother backed into a corner, trying in his own reckless way to reclaim justice for his own family member. However, his execution was completely wrong. Owing money and paying it back is a fundamental truth of the universe. But using a crime to avenge a crime will never, ever make things right. On the 3rd night, after teaming up with Zhou Hai to throw that dirty mole behind bars, I received a sudden incoming call from Zhou Hai. BG Fan, get over to the bank right away. Manager Zhou, it's literally 11 o'clock at night right now. I can't even scan a code to unlock a public share bike. How on earth do you expect me to get over there? I'll come pick you up myself. Send me your location. I dropped my coordinates, and in less than 20 minutes, a slick black Audi pulled up right outside my rundown apartment building. I hopped into the car without saying a single word. After driving for about 10 minutes, he pulled up in front of a late-night street food stall that was still open. Zhou Hai ordered 2 hot bowls of wonton soup. Staring at the steaming bowl on the table, I smirked. Manager Zhou, a high-flying top executive at a major bank like you, is actually treating me to a cheap roadside stall? BG Fan, do you have any idea what happened after Ma Dong was hauled away? What happened? Headquarters dispatched an emergency investigation team in the middle of the night. Not to investigate Ma Dong, but to target me. They claimed that. For a vice manager working beside me for 5 whole years, to be laundering massive funds right under my nose without me knowing. Either I'm completely incompetent and useless, or I was directly in cahoots with him. In cahoots. If you were in cahoots, you never would have asked me to help you smoke out the mole in the first place. Headquarters didn't care to believe that. They seized every single one of my client files, froze all my executive powers, and suspended me indefinitely pending internal investigation. 15 entire years of grinding from a lowly front desk teller all the way up to manager. 15 years of blood, sweat, and tears, all wiped out in a single night because of this. Do you regret it? Regret what? Regret asking me to help you unmask the insider mole. If you had just turned a blind eye and played dumb, Ma Dong's dirty operations might have remained hidden forever. You'd still be sitting comfortably as bank manager, and headquarters wouldn't be grilling you right now. BG Fan, do you know why everyone in the streets calls me the Iron-Faced Yama? I heard your debt collecting methods aren't exactly clean and squeaky. You're right. They weren't clean. I've hired muscle to spray paint doors, pour superglue into door locks, and even beat people up. But I have never crossed one absolute bottom line. Dirty tactics. I used to hire thugs to spray paint and pour glue into keyholes, and even rough people up. But I never crossed one ultimate line. I refused to ever touch dirty money. Ma Dong crossed that line, and since he went rogue under my watch, that falls on me. If I had turned a blind eye and played dumb, how would I be any different from those scum loan sharks out there? Manager Zhou, let me toast to you. Here's to your absolute integrity and refusing to touch dirty cash. BG Fan, you know what? I used to despise you with a passion. A pathetic loser drowning in a 1 billion yuan debt. In my eyes, you were nothing more than the scum of society. Working in debt. Recovery for 15 full years. I've seen way too many deadbeats like you. Running off with stolen cash, dodging debts, liquidating assets under the table, and faking poverty. I honestly thought you were just like the rest of them. But now, I see you're built completely different. You're actually dead broke, not pretending to be. On top of that, you aren't fleeing, dodging, or playing fake games. You owe a staggering 1 billion yuan, yet you're still actively trying to pay it off, even if it's a mere 100 yuan a year. Do you know what that's called? That's called absolute backbone. All right, stop buttering me up. My skin is thin. One more compliment, and I'll float straight up into the clouds. So, Manager Zhou, I'm probably about to be officially fired. Fired? Is it really that severe? Best case scenario, I get fired. Worst case scenario, I get slapped with prison time. Let's not dwell on that anymore. If you actually get canned, what's your game plan? No idea. I've been in banking for 15 years. I don't know how to do anything else. You know how to collect debts. Your reputation as the Iron-Faced Yama is legendary across the entire underworld. Who doesn't know you? What are you getting at? What I mean is, if the bank fires you, come join forces with me. I'll teach you how to become a live streaming master. Live streaming to teach people how to handle aggressive debt collectors, how to maintain a rock-solid mind when drowning in debt, and how to negotiate like a pro with banks. You've been in debt collection for 15 years, and I've been an ultimate blacklisted deadbeat for 3 years. The two of us together, one spear, one shield, a power combo like that, creates the ultimate masterclass in debt collection and anti-collection warfare. I guarantee it'll go viral. Bursts into loud laughter. Laughing uncontrollably. Laughs out loud BG Fan. You truly are a once-in-a-lifetime rival. I'm literally on the brink of getting fired. Yet you're sitting here drawing up business blueprints for my future. And yet you're sitting here inviting me to go live streaming with you. Isn't this a million times better than grinding away bitterly at that soul-crushing bank? At the bank, every single day you're getting squeezed by corporate headquarters, cussed out by angry clients, and betrayed by your own trusted team. Come join me and enter the world of live streaming. You're the ruthless Iron-Faced Yama, and I'm the ultimate blacklisted debt godfather. The two of us can form a power duo and make our grand debut. I've even already come up with our official duo name, the Black and White Twin Executioners. BG Fan, what if I don't actually get fired after all? Well, then you just go right back to being your high and mighty bank manager. But don't you dare forget, you still owe me a proper night out for drinks. Tonight's meal is on my dime, so next time it's your turn. Though I'm broke as a church mouse, so I can only afford to treat you to cheap steamed buns. BG Fan, no matter how this all plays out, you're a brother. I'm locked in with for life. Zhou Hai stood up to settle the bill. That night, I rode in Zhou Hai's car all the way back to my rental room. 1 month later, headquarters finally concluded their official internal investigation. Zhou Hai was fully cleared of any involvement in that dirty money laundering scheme. However, he couldn't completely escape managerial oversight liability. He was handed a major demerit on his official record, demoted straight down to vice department manager, and kept on the payroll under strict probation for 1 whole year. When he gave me a call to break the news, there wasn't a single trace of defeat or depression in his voice. Instead, he sounded immensely relieved, as if a massive weight had been lifted off his chest. BG Fan, looks like our grand debut as the Black and White Twin Executioners is going to have to be put on hold for now. No worries at all. I can wait. After all, I've got a debt repayment schedule that stretches out for the next 10,000 years anyway. Just as things finally settled down, 2 days later, an anonymous and signed letter mysteriously appeared inside my drafty, run-down apartment room. Little Fatty caught sight of the letter through our video call, his eyes bulging wide open like giant saucers. Brother Fan, the letter says old mister wants to meet you at Yulon Pavilion. That's literally the most insanely expensive restaurant in all of Binhai City. The baseline cost is easily 8,000 yuan per person. 8,000 yuan. Man, I'd have to starve myself for 3 straight days just to dare set foot in a place like that. Actually, even if I starved for 3 days, I still wouldn't have the cash to eat there. Brother, you aren't seriously thinking about going, are you? Of course I'm going. Why on earth wouldn't I go? When someone offers a free ultra-luxury meal, turning it down is a sin. Besides, this whole thing is clearly free food and drinks. Rejecting a free meal would be an absolute sin. This is clearly a classic Hongmen banquet trap. But hey, a trap banquet is still a lavish feast. The absolute last time I enjoyed a truly decent high-end meal was 3 full years ago before my tech company went totally bankrupt. Back then, I treated a major client out for dinner, and a single meal cost a whopping 30,000 yuan. Looking back now, if I had only saved that 30,000 yuan, I could be living like an absolute king for 3 whole years right now. The next day, dressed in a slightly faded and worn-out suit, I stood boldly at the grand entrance of Yulon Pavilion, guided by a polished waiter. I stepped into an ultra-exclusive private dining room, where I saw an extraordinarily elegant elderly woman sitting quietly at the table. You must be old mister. That is indeed what everyone calls me. Aren't you even a little terrified? To be totally honest with you, I actually am a little terrified, though not afraid that you'll have me executed. I'm terrified that you'll force me to pay the bill. A single meal in a high-end place like this costs 8,000 yuan. I can't afford a single bite. You are indeed just as fascinating as Jiu'er described. Extremely intriguing. Yue? You mean Jiuge? Precisely. He's one of my top subordinates. And you just threw him straight into a prison cell. He broke the law. What does his criminal downfall have to do with me? I know he was far too reckless and impatient. I warned him repeatedly to always tread with extreme caution. Yet he refused to listen. You summoned me all the way here. Surely it wasn't just to make small talk, right? Of course not. BG Fan, I want to offer you a massive business transaction. Another one. Jiuge said he wanted to cooperate with me too, and it turned out to be a deadly setup. Now, this old lady claims she wants to strike a deal with me. Is the next step tying me up and throwing me straight into the ocean? What kind of deal? This is a blank check for 1 billion yuan. As long as you promise me one simple condition, this entire check is officially yours. You can completely clear every single debt, restore your credit history to perfection, and restart your life from scratch. What exactly do you want me to do? It's remarkably simple. Shut your mouth and stop digging deeper. Jiu'er has already been locked away by you, so this entire ordeal ends right here, right now. Old mister, I won't accept this cash. And why is that? Because your money is utterly filthy. A pathetic blacklisted deadbeat owing a full billion like you actually dares to preach to me about remaining clean? That's damn right. The astronomical sum I owe came from my own failed business venture and from getting ruthlessly scammed by my former business partners. Every single penny of it, I fully own up to and take responsibility for. But your money is laundered cash, fraud money, and blood money squeezed from ruining innocent lives. My credit score may be pitch black, but I still have my absolute principles. BG Fan, do you have any idea what the dire consequences of rejecting me are? Of course I know. You'll try to crush me. However, you have absolutely nothing left to threaten me with anymore. My credit profile is already completely blacklisted. Inside my bank account, there's literally zero. 0.1 yuan left. My rented apartment costs a pathetic 400 yuan a month. So tell me, what on earth could you possibly take from me? Take away my shared bike rental privileges? Oh, right. You guys already had that account frozen too. BG fan, do you honestly believe you've won this game? I don't think I've won it all. I just believe that. Your own son deserves to know the absolute truth. Do you know why Zhao Jio listens to my every single order? Not because I'm simply his boss, but because I'm infinitely more ruthless than he ever was. Do you genuinely believe that holding a single audio recording gives you the leverage to intimidate me? Do you think that by tracking down my son, I'll shake in fear before you? I never intended to threaten you at all. You just what? What the hell are you? You're nothing more than a blacklisted deadbeat drowning in a 1 billion yuan debt. You can't even save your own pathetic life. Yet you dare act like you can deliver salvation to my son. Who do you think you are, huh? Some kind of saintly messiah? Old mister, you're entirely right. I am just an ultimate blacklisted loser owing 1 billion yuan, who can't even afford to ride a public shared bike. But what about you? You have massive wealth and absolute power. With vicious crime, lords like Zhao Jio risking their lives for you. Yet do you actually sleep peacefully at night? Your son is currently studying abroad at MIT. He has no idea his own mother is a dirty money laundering kingpin. He genuinely believes that every single dollar sent by his mother was earned completely, cleanly, and legitimately. You've been spinning a web of lies to deceive him for 28 long years. Just stop and think if one day he turns on the TV and sees your mugshot broadcasted all over the news as you get arrested. How is he going to feel? How will he ever look at you again? He will despise you for the rest of his life. Shut your mouth right now. Your son doesn't need your dirty cash. He needs a clean, honorable mother. Every single cent of the fortune you hold right now is soaked in total corruption. 1107, sending him abroad. Sending him abroad was never about what's best for him. It was purely to protect yourself. You refused to let him discover the filthy, illegal acts you've been committing simply because you're terrified that he will look down on you with utter disgust. BG fan, if you utter one more single word, I will ensure you never walk out of this door alive. Old mister, I am a guy buried under a 1 billion yuan debt. What on earth do you think I have left to fear? If you dump my body into the ocean today, tomorrow the news headlines will explode with blacklisted deadbeat BG fan mysteriously vanishes. Suspected execution by underground loan syndicate. Your son will inevitably see that news report. He will dig into the truth, and he will uncover every single dirty secret. How do you think he's going to react when that day comes? Get the hell out of my sight. Stepping out of Yulon Pavilion, my mind was a chaotic storm of tangled emotions. The moment I got back home, I immediately called Little Fatty. Little Fatty, find me old Mr. Sun's email address right now. Brother fan, what are you planning to do? Are you seriously going to use your son to blackmail her? It's not blackmail. It's persuasion. He needs to open his eyes and realize what kind of illegal business his mother is running. Brother fan, are you pulling a massive psychological warfare card on her? I call this winning people over with moral superiority. My credit profile might be blacklisted, but my moral character is pure light. Little Fatty pulled an all-nighter digging and sent over a massive pile of data the next morning. Old Mr. Sun is named Chen Shubai. Turns out he was the person we needed to locate all along. He is completely clueless about her underground empire, and he's never even heard the name Jiugu in his life. Oh man, if an outsider saw them, they'd think he was her grandson instead. He and his mother literally live in two entirely different worlds. Brother fan, how do you plan on reaching out to him? Sending an email? Is your English even good enough for that? My English sucks, but I've got translation software. Using my broken, butchered, and horribly pieced-together English, I crafted a detailed email to send to Chen Shubai. The main point was, your mother back home is deeply entangled in a massive financial crime syndicate. 1156, I sincerely hope you can return home. I sincerely hope you can return. To convince her to surrender to the authorities. After Little Fatty finished reading my draft email, he nearly choked to death on his own laughter. Brother fan, your level of English proficiency right here is literally worse than my dogs. Well, my family doesn't even own a dog, because I don't have the cash to feed one. After sending off the email, days went by without a single peep of news. I honestly thought it had sunk straight to the bottom of the ocean. To my absolute surprise, a whole week later, I actually received a reply. Who on earth are you? And how do you know about my mother's affairs? My name is BG Fan, an ultimate blacklisted deadbeat owing 1 billion yuan. Your mother's syndicate illegally hijacked my identity to launder their dirty cash. You don't have to take my word for it. Just fly back home and see everything with your own eyes. Understood. I will book the earliest flight back to the country. 3 days later, Chen Shubai touched down right here in Binhai City. The two of us sat face to face inside a quiet tea house. Is everything you said actually the absolute truth? Just look at what brand of luxury cars your mother drives, how many millions her mansion is worth, and how astronomical the balance in her bank accounts really is. Have you ever done the math? A retired elderly woman with no job, no investments, and 0 active businesses. Where on earth could she possibly get that kind of ridiculous fortune? I always assumed my late father left it behind. Your father passed away when you were barely 10 years old. Deep down, don't you know exactly how much inheritance he actually left? 1190, let's go. I'm taking you to witness something. Let's move. I'm taking you to witness something. Right outside the courthouse. Zhou Hai pulled some strings to secure us 2 spectator seats inside. Chen Shubai sat quietly in the public gallery, watching as Jiu Ge was escorted into the courtroom in handcuffs. The split-second Jiu Ge caught sight of Chen Shubai. His face turned dead pale. Shubai, why on earth are you here? Uncle Jiu, I should be the one asking you that exact question. The court session finally came to a close, and Chen Shubai walked back to his family mansion. He stood in the middle of the living room, staring intensely at the elderly woman, his own mother. Why on earth would you do something like this? Shubai, why are you back home? Someone finally opened my eyes and revealed the truth. Are you actually running a massive money laundering syndicate? Are you committing high-level financial crimes? Everything I did was purely for your future. I never wanted a future built on crime. I don't want a single cent of dirty money, funding my education, or putting food on my plate. I refuse to live inside a gilded cage like this. I'd rather you be an honest street sweeper. At least then, your soul would still be clean. Mom, please, just stop this madness now. Old mister, your son is completely right. If you turn yourself in right now, you might still get a shot at leniency. Once the police come knocking down your door, it'll be way too late. BG Fan, why on earth did you have to go this far? Because even though I'm a blacklisted deadbeat, I still have a moral conscience. Your son is a good man. Don't force him to carry the weight of your sins. Fine, I will surrender to the police. Following old mister's voluntary surrender, the entire crime syndicate was officially thrust into judicial proceedings. When the final trial came to an end, I sat quietly on a long wooden bench in the courthouse hallway, anxiously awaiting the official sentencing results. Zhou Hai sat right next to me, while little Fatty popped up on my phone screen via video call. Brother, how many years do you think they'll get hit with? Jiu Ge is looking at a minimum of 25 years. Gao Tian will get 15 years or more. As for Ma Dong, probably 5 to 8 years. And old mister, it's really hard to say. Do you feel any sympathy for that old lady? She is pitiable. But the horrific crimes she committed cannot be forgiven simply because she's old. In the end, Zhao Jie was convicted of heavy money laundering. His combined sentences totaled a massive 25 years in state prison, alongside a staggering fine of 500 million yuan. Gao Tian was sentenced to 12 long years behind bars. The court also officially ruled that my identity had been stolen, declaring that the fraudulently obtained 30 million yuan loan had absolutely zero legal connection to me. With the case officially closed, I submitted a request to visit Gao Tian in prison. Gao Tian, I came to see you. Did you come all the way here just to mock my downfall? Not all. I just want to ask you one thing. I've always been dying to know. Why on earth did you get plastic surgery? To transform your face into mine. Back then, you had so many other options. There was zero need to go under the knife for plastic surgery. You could have easily forged a fake ID and taken out loans using someone else's name. So why on earth did it have to be me? BG Fan, do you genuinely not remember who I am? Our paths crossed way back, 3 full years ago. Back when your fintech company hadn't gone Bankrupt yet? I pitched a project to you. Do you remember now? Silence. I figured you'd have forgotten all about it. Back then, you completely rejected my entire proposal. Do you have any idea what those words meant? To me at the time, for the sake of that single project, I took out a brutal 5 million yuan high-interest loan. I thought you were a successful, visionary founder. I truly believed you'd understand my drive. But instead, you bluntly told me, if you're already deluding yourself, how do you ever expect to convince and sell to others? Maybe I really did say that. Back then, I was riding high on my own success. My career was skyrocketing. My company valuation hit 1 billion yuan. And every single day, I was turning down countless desperate entrepreneurs begging for capital injection. How could I possibly remember one young guy? Out of the hundreds, I turned away. The project collapsed completely. Those vicious loan shark hounds chased me down with blades. I spent an entire year running for my life, hiding out like a street rat, sleeping under filthy bridges, and scavenging through trash cans for scraps. Later on, I sökte refuge under Jie, and began doing dirty work for him. Then one day, Gioga said he needed to hijack someone's identity to launder money. Someone whose credit score was blacklisted and tragic enough to raise zero suspicion. The very first person who flashed in my mind was you. So, you specifically set out to ruin my life. No, I wanted to become you. Do you know the very first thing I did after getting surgery to steal your face? 1290, I paid a visit to your former company headquarters. I even made a personal trip to your former company's old headquarters. That massive office tower was still standing tall, but your company had long vanished into thin air. I stood down at the lobby, staring up at the newly replaced corporate sign, and whispered to myself, I finally made it. I actually succeeded. You've gone completely out of your mind. Damn right. I'm insane, but at least I know the exact reason why I lost my sanity. 1300, tell me, do you even know why you ended up drowning in a 1 billion yuan debt? Tell me, do you even know why you ended up drowning in a 1 billion yuan debt? It's all because you were far too arrogant and self-righteous. You honestly thought that turning down my project was doing me a favor, didn't you? You believed that dropping those harsh words was meant for my own good. You were just showing off and flexing your power, bragging that you had money, a massive company, and the right to look down on everyone else. BG fan, do you know what I hated about you most over these past 3 years? It wasn't because you called my dream project a scam. It was the fact that even though you were drowning in a 1 billion yuan debt, you still somehow walked around, with your head held high, riding a public shared bike, munching on a cheap 2.5 yuan steam bun, and living in a wretched 400 yuan a month rented room. Yet you never once felt sorry for yourself. I got surgery to steal your face, walked into banks to secure massive loans, threw cash around at night clubs like a king, and dined at the most lavish high-end restaurants, where everyone who saw me bowed respectfully and called me Boss BG. But I still wasn't you, and I knew I could never, ever truly become you. Gao Tian, you're right. Back then, I was indeed far too arrogant and full of myself. When I rejected your proposal, I really was just flexing my power. Only after being crushed under a 1 billion yuan debt did I finally grasp a crucial truth. When you're successful, you delude yourself into thinking you're the center of the universe. Only when you crash and burn do you realize you're absolute trash. It wasn't that I was living courageously or proudly. It was simply that I learned to accept my reality. Once you own your mistakes, there is nothing left in this world to fear. Gao Tian didn't steal my face out of pure hatred. He did it because he desperately craved to become the arrogant version of who I used to be. I hung up the call and stepped out of the detention center, assuming my life would finally return to its normal, boring routine. Little did I expect an absolute wild twist of fate waiting right around the corner. That day, little Fatty was jumping up and down hysterically on our video call. Brother fan, you just went insanely viral. You hit #1 trending topic. The headline literally reads, 1 billion yuan deadbeat single-handedly obliterates underground loan syndicate. 300 million reads. And over 200,000 active discussions. Because of this massive explosion of fame, I became an overnight internet sensation. Even a top-tier hit reality talk show, I Can IBB, sent over a personal invitation, and I didn't turn them down. Right there on the shiny stage of I Can IBB, I stood proudly under the spotlight. I stood on stage under the blinding spotlights, facing a packed panel of guest stars and celebrity judges. BG Fan, our high-stakes debate topic for today is having a blacklisted credit history ultimately a good thing or a total disaster? What are your thoughts on this? Honestly, for a guy like me, it's a blessing in disguise. Because now, absolutely nobody on earth is dumb enough to lend me money. So you don't feel that having your credit score completely destroyed is an overwhelmingly painful experience. Painful? Of course it's fucking painful. But the real agony isn't having blacklisted credit. It's being buried alive under a mountain of debt. A blacklisted credit score is merely the aftermath of crushing debt. It was never the root cause. I'm currently drowning in a whopping 1 billion yuan. If my credit wasn't pitch black, that would be a medical anomaly. So do you have any final words of wisdom for our audience today? A blacklisted credit score isn't terrifying at all. Having a pitch black, corrupted soul is what's truly terrifying. You can be drowning in debt. You can be broke, and you can be mocked by the entire world. But you must never surrender your moral principles. 1374, I owe a massive 1 billion yuan. I drown in a staggering 1 billion yuan debt, but I'm still unapologetically me. After that episode of I Can I, BB skyrocketed straight to the top of trending searches. My social media follower count exploded overnight. That was crazy enough, but to make matters wilder, a whole swarm of aggressive paparazzi began camping out right outside my cheap rented room 24/7. And most absurd, mind-blowing part? A massive short video streaming platform threw a crazy offer at my feet, inviting me to host a single live stream for a cool 5,000 yuan. The absolute last time I earned 5,000 yuan in one go was 3 long years ago before my tech startup completely crashed. Back then, 5,000 yuan was literally the price of a single casual dinner for me. But today, that cash keeps me alive for half a damn year. Desperate times call for desperate measures. A guy living at rock bottom has no choice but to swallow his pride. What's up, everyone? Imbishi Fan. Yep, the infamous blacklisted legend owing a full 1 billion yuan right here. Is this legit or cap? Are you just clout chasing? For views? Bro, if I actually knew how to clout chase and farm views back then, I wouldn't be drowning in debt today. How much of that debt have you actually paid back so far? This month, I managed to clear a whopping 2,200 yuan. At this blazing speed, I should have it fully paid off in about 45,000 years. So if you guys have great-great-grandchildren down the line, be sure to tell them to tune in and check on my progress. The moment it's completely paid off, I'll send you all a message from beyond the grave. Roaring laughter. Later that exact same evening, my live stream viewership skyrocketed from a pathetic 12 people to over 2,000 live viewers. Not because my commentary was exceptionally brilliant, but because someone screen recorded the stream and chopped it into short viral clips titled 1408 Foot the Guy Owing 1 billion yuan Teaches You How to Live Life. Titled, The Man Owing 1 billion yuan Teaches You How to Live Life. The view count racked up an insane 5 million views. Following Zhou Hai's sudden demotion, his personal office got forcibly relocated all the way from the 20th floor down to a cramped room on the 15th floor. The space was sliced straight in half. I pushed open the door and stepped inside. Catching Tsu, I quietly eating a cheap box de meal. Director Zhou. Oh, my bad. I meant Deputy Director Zhou. Enjoying your lunch break? Don't you dare call me Deputy Director. Sounds like I was some fallen immortal banished to the mortal realm. Anyway, I caught your live stream earlier. Oh yeah? What did you think? You call that a live stream? You literally just sat there like a log, chatting aimlessly with strangers. No singing, no dancing, not a single talent on display. Bro, owing 1 billion yuan. IS my ultimate special talent. So, what about that black and white duo master plan we talked about? Are you still down for it, or what? Are you actually asking me that seriously? Dead serious, man. I slaved away here for 15 grueling years, grinding all the way up from a low-level teller to branch director, only to lose everything overnight and end up back at square one. I'd much rather take a leap of faith and do live streaming with you. Zhou Hai, you've completely lost your damn mind. You're a top-tier executive corporate banker, and you want to become a full-time live streamer. Your wife is going to beat you to death, I swear. Actually, my wife already gave me her blessing. Over the past few years, I worked brutal overtime every single day, to the point where my kids barely even recognize my face anymore. She told me straight up, if making this move means I get more time to spend with the family. She couldn't care less if my paycheck takes a massive hit. What about your heavy mortgage payments then? And your luxury car loan? Already sold a house. We downsized and moved into a much smaller apartment. Sold the car too. Now I just ride an e-bike everywhere. I've done all the math carefully, doing live streaming, even if I only pull in a humble 3,000 yuan a month. It's more than enough for us to get by. 3,000 yuan. Zuhai, your monthly base salary before this was 30,000 yuan. Did that 30K actually bring you as much genuine happiness as this 3,000 yuan will? Let me tell you something straight. After spending a grueling 15 years in the debt collection business, my single absolute greatest realization is this. Money isn't something you can just aggressively force out of people, but a peaceful life is something you can build with your own hands. Well then, let's stop talking and actually get to work. I've even had our brand name figure out for ages. The Black-White Duo Masterclass in Practical Debt Collection Anti-Collection Tactics. You'll play the Iron-Faced King of Hell, and I'll be the godmother of blacklisted debt. The two of us, one acting as the unstoppable spear, the other as the impenetrable shield, teaching folks the art of recovering debt on one end, while training others on how to dodge ruthless collectors on the other. Cashing in big time from both sides. Bro, with a big brain like yours. If you didn't launch a tech startup back then and went into sales instead, that ridiculous 1 billion yuan, that would have been wiped clean years ago. Me, in sales, with my credit score looking pitch black like this. Who on earth would ever buy a single thing from me? True to his word, Zhou Hai didn't waste a second. The very next morning, he officially submitted his resignation letter. Inside my tiny, cramped rental room, Zhou Hai sat right next to me, decked out in a crisp, sharp suit, with a deadly serious expression plastered across his face. Greetings, honorable viewers. Welcome to the official debut of the Black-White Duo. Today marks our very first live broadcast, and our main topic is how to deal with relentless, aggressive collection calls. Iam Zuhai, a veteran who spent 15 grueling years in the debt recovery industry. Today, together with BG Fan right here, we're going to expose every dirty trick in the debt collection playbook for you all. Rule number 1. When collection agents ring your phone, their absolute favorite times to strike are 7 a.m. sharp and 10 p.m. late at night. Why, you ask? Because those are the exact 2 windows of the day when your guard is at its absolute lowest, leaving your mental state totally vulnerable. Spot on. Back in the day, when I was bombarded with collection calls, the moment I heard buzzwords like overdue balance, breach of contract, or credit blacklist, my entire head would literally go completely numb. Later on, I unlocked a genius hack. Whenever those aggressive collectors dialed in, I just tell them, listen up, big bro, I'm currently drowning in 1 billion yuan, so grab a ticket and get in line. All right, folks, please do not take notes from this guy. He is an extreme, isolated outlier. For any normal person receiving a scary collection call, your absolute number 1 golden rule is do not panic under any circumstances. You absolutely cannot panic. Rule number 2, never hang up the phone on them. Rule number 3, you must hit record. Now recording is something I fully agree with. Back then, I was only able to throw my mortal enemy straight into a prison cell, all thanks to a clutch phone recording. Exactly. Recording isn't meant for petty arguments. It's designed to protect your own skin. If a collector dares to threaten, if you don't pay up today, I'm pulling up to your workplace to ruin you. Boom. That right there is solid evidence of illegal collection practices. Top comment. Are you too a bankhound dog and a total deadbeat, teaming up to scam people out of their hard-earned cash? Bro, if I actually knew how to scam people out of cash, I wouldn't be drowning in a 1 billion yuan debt right now. Every single penny of the massive debt I owe was completely wiped out during my failed tech startup venture. I didn't grab the cash and run. I didn't stash away hidden assets. And I didn't spend it on luxury mansions or supercars. I live in a dirt-cheap rental room for 400 yuan a month, 1521 ride public shared bikes, and munch on 2.5 yuan steam buns. Riding public shared bikes, munching on 2.5 yuan steam buns. The only person I ever truly scammed in my entire life was myself. I foolishly deluded myself into believing that my startup was guaranteed to succeed. I can fully vouch for this guy. I personally audited every single asset under his name. There isn't a single damn thing registered to him. He doesn't even have a functioning bank card to his name. He is hands down the poorest deadbeat lord I've ever encountered in my entire career. But he's also the most righteous and honest deadbeat lord alive. Top comment. Then why the hell were you hunting him down for debt? Oh, I definitely hunted him down. I literally kicked his front door wide open once. But over time, I came to a cold realization. Some debts are simply impossible to recover. It's not because the debtor is refusing to pay. It's because they literally don't have a single penny left to give. So what do you think a guy like me is supposed to do then? A guy like you just needs to keep surviving. As long as you're breathing and paying back 100 yuan every year, it'll all be cleared in 10,000 years. But if you kick the bucket, the bank gets absolutely nothing. So my core philosophy right now is simple. If you borrow money, paying it back is common sense. But collectors must know their boundaries, and debtors must hold onto their moral principles. 1547 as the live stream finally wrapped up, and just like that, the live stream came to an end. Zhou Hai and I sat side by side on the concrete steps downstairs, each clutching a cheap bottle of mineral water. BG fan, do you really think we're heading down the right path here? Trying to walk the righteous path. How much does that even cost? Look at us. This is basically a support group for two utterly broke souls. You were forced out of the bank after a harsh demotion, while I'm drowning under an astronomical 1 billion yuan debt. The two of us teaming up like this is honestly just two tragic losers clinging together for warmth. And despite all that, you could still laugh like it's nothing? Hey, laughing doesn't cost a single cent. Let me tell you something real. During our live stream today, there was one specific comment that I didn't dare to read out loud. What did it say? Someone typed, "My own father was pushed straight to his death by ruthless collectors." How many innocent lives can you guys actually save? BG fan. In the past, I always believed that collecting debt was purely a job to put food on the table. I didn't care whether the methods were clean or dirty. As long as I dragged the money back, my mission was accomplished. But looking back now, how many of those people actually had money but maliciously refused to pay? And how many were genuinely driven into a corner with nowhere left to run? Zhou Hai, do you know why I've never held a grudge or hated any of those debt collectors? Why? Because I borrowed the money, so I deserve to be hounded. It's my own debt, and I must take full responsibility for it, which is exactly why our channel isn't here to help shameless deadbeats dodge their payments. We are here to help both the collectors and the debtors figure out a middle ground, a viable solution where both sides can actually keep surviving. All right, stop getting so cheesy with me. What's our live stream topic for tomorrow then? Tomorrow, we're diving into how to negotiate a flexible installment plan with banks. You're a former banking veteran, so you take the spotlight and host. Wait me, if I speak out on that, the bank will officially put me on their permanent blacklist. Huh, bro, you literally quit the entire industry on purpose. Are you seriously still scared of getting blacklisted? Roaring laughter. True. You got a point there. Let's move. Dinner's on me. I'm treating you to steamed buns. You're treating me. You're making a humble 3,000 yuan a month right now. And you're flexing by buying me steamed buns. So what if it's 3,000 yuan? Every single cent of that 3,000 is honest blood, sweat, and tears. Let's go. As time went on, the Black-White Duo live stream channel grew exponentially larger and more influential. Zhou Hai broke down the intricate psychological tactics and loopholes of collection agencies, while I shared the raw mental struggles and survival strategies of those carrying heavy debt. Sure, some trolls spewed hate, calling us a deadbeat training camp, but countless others shed genuine tears in our comment section. But so many others shed genuine tears in the comments, because our content truly saved their lives. We weren't making crazy amounts of money, but Zhou Hai proudly told me that he no longer received those terrifying late-night phone calls. As for me, I admitted I still had to keep answering them, simply because I hadn't fully cleared the massive debt on my shoulders. But honestly, that didn't faze me anymore. Even drowning in debt, I must keep pushing forward and surviving. As long as I'm breathing, hope is never dead.